Hello and welcome to the Two Robbies Podcast with myself, Robbie Mustoe, here with my pal, Robbie Earle. It's a special one, special podcast, Rob.
Special, and I don't know if you can just see to our left there's a certain Mo Salah with his golden boot.
And the trophy.
I mean, does it get better than this for the Two Robbies Podcast?
Well, it's been quite the experience being at Anfield for this final day. And right there where he is now is where the team lined up in front of the Kop to hear You'll Never Walk Alone. I mean, gosh, how emotional was that, by the way? I mean,
Goosebumps.
I've no skin in the game, and yet it was emotional. To sum up an amazing day, Rob, wasn't it? What stood out to you just on this last match day at Anfield?
The celebration of the trophy, Rob. That this football club won it under Jurgen Klopp. They'd waited 30 years to do it, and they won a brilliant title. But the fans weren't here to celebrate. This was about the party.
It was noisy, wasn't it? It was loud.
It was incredible noisy.
Yeah.
There was a connection. So delighted that Trent Alexander-Arnold got a really good reception.
Yeah,
saw him
so good,
emotional after the game, Rob. He's been a great servant. Over 350 games. You know, he's won 2 titles, Champions League. He's been a brilliant player for him. Come to the academy, and I'm so pleased that he can leave today with a feeling of pride.
And again, part of the celebrations, he was probably in the middle of it more than anybody else, lifting that trophy, tapping his badge and all that. And things, I guess people can change a little bit, Rob, you know, with Jurgen Klopp's words a couple of days ago about how disappointed he was to hear the boos. And maybe, I don't know, on reflection, the fans kind of let him know what they felt earlier here at Anfield. Yeah. But it's so good that they gave him a ton of...
He got a fitting end,
coming onto the field,
what he did
here at the end.
And by the way, he came on second half, Rob, and you just see what the brilliance that he's got, that he's a game changer and he livened things up. And I'll tell you one person who's going to miss him, the fella behind us, Mo Salah. Yeah. That little relationship they have down that right-hand side has been very special for Liverpool over the last 7 or 8 years.
Again, let's just touch on the team and the achievements on a slot. I think he's already said that he doesn't know whether there's an elite mentality now. No, I don't mean for this season, but for next season. Yeah. Can they be serial winners? It looks like the club is very close to agreeing, I think 3 players right now, Rob, to make this team stronger straight away. Are we seeing the start of something that could be dominant for Liverpool over the next few seasons?
Good question, because I just wanted to go there. Let's say Arsenal, Robbie, is the conundrum in terms of what's spent there, what's brought in at the top end of the pitch. Can this manager drive this team on a little bit further? That's the big question. I think Manchester City, Rob, I don't think they'll challenge the title next season.
I don't either.
I think there's a bit of work to do. I think there's some patching up. I think there's some new relationships that are going to have to be built in that football club.
And the World Club Cup.
Yeah.
You know, they got games. It's going to be very difficult. I read a really interesting article in The Athletic about how hard it's going to be and how few days rest the player's going to get, and then they're back at it again.
Maybe a couple of weeks.
Challenge on the back of that very quickly. You have to start very quickly, like Liverpool did this year. So that's going to be difficult, isn't it?
And then, you know, the Chelseas and Newcastles, the Man Uniteds, they're not going to be challenged. There's an opportunity for Liverpool Football Club, Rob, to get a stranglehold on these titles in the way that Manchester United did back in the 90s and had that run. So that's going to be the challenge for the rest of the league. That's obviously where Liverpool are going to be looking. Talk to us more about the season in general, Rob. Yeah. What you know, people have sort of said it was maybe not a great season. We knew we won at the top. We knew we went down at the bottom. You know, the Champions League spots was really the question. But I've enjoyed the teams, Rob, those teams that maybe weren't big six, the mid-team, the Brentfords, the Brightons, the Bournemouths you've talked about, the Crystal Palaces. You know, what a brilliant season it's been for them, for Fulham. You know, they're not given anymore. The big clubs don't go to Fulham or Bournemouth and Brentford anymore and think, 3 points.
I think what we've seen this year is, I don't matter how big your club is and what your reputation is and expectations are, this league now, particularly those mid-clubs, they know what they're doing. They've got good recruitment, they're well-organised football clubs, and if you haven't got your stuff together, Tottenham, Manchester United, Man City at times, it's been a season of remarkable drop-offs, really. And I know City have found a way to rally a little bit later on. They finished in 3rd place there. But the likes of Tottenham and Manchester United, I mean, my goodness, doesn't it show you that any football club, if things aren't quite right, you're gonna fall off that ledge. Yeah. It's a very tight ledge, I feel like, in the Premier League between winning regularly and losing regularly. And their performances and their drop-off was a feature of this season, isn't it? I think other things that concerns me, Rob, is the relegated three. And I know we won't spend much time talking about it, but that's back-to-back seasons where the promoted three have been relegated. And what worries me, mate, and this is probably a podcast for another day, is that the club's coming up, we'll see what's happened in recent seasons, and like, wow, you know what? We got teams have spent over $100 million and still not done it, with good managers, with different philosophies. Might they stop going for it in terms of finances to say, you know what, we'll take the money, we'll use it for the club, and don't really give it a go to stay in the division like full Monty with spending and everything else?
So I'm going to point to something else that maybe is an answer to your question, in that I think this season Nuno Espirito Santo has done an outstanding job. I know that Nottingham Forest didn't get what they wanted in Champions League football. They've gone from 17th in the league to European football. But more than that, Rob, they've also shown that there's another way to win football games that isn't always possession, that isn't always playing out the back, that you can sit in a reasonably deep block, that you can have good wide players, a centre midfield player and a striker, and there's another way you can win games. And I just wonder whether some of those teams coming up, Rob,
might change it.
Might change the way that
the whole approach to try and stay in.
To try and stay in it for the first year and then develop what they're trying to do a year on.
Just individually, Rob, like players that have stood out or surprised you. Let me start with a player that we've talked about a lot, and this is a good time to kind of recap a little bit our shows. You know where I'm going to go, probably. Just Morgan Rogers at Aston Villa is what I'm thinking of a young player that's broke into the team, wasn't a huge fee, a young player that's come into the Premier League and looks a huge asset for Aston Villa. Yeah. I mean, I think his rise has been remarkable. Anybody that you know, maybe has had a breakout season that you might not have expected?
Well, I go back to, and I have to, Ryan Gravenberch, who ended up getting a red card today, Rob. Yeah. But if you'd have said at the start of the season, Ryan Gravenberch is going to be the anchor defensive midfield player for Liverpool to win a title, I would have said, not sure that's his game.
He's more of an 8.
He's more of an 8.
He wants to attack and get forward.
I said last week, in the season when City lost Rodri and it hurt them, Liverpool found Gravenberch, and that's one of the biggest things that Arne Slot's done at this football club. Ryan Gravenberch sitting in that hole in front of the back four. We've had underappreciated all season, my friend. I want you to give me your underappreciated player of the season.
Daniel Munoz, Crystal Palace. Partly because we saw him play today.
Well, we've seen that all season, haven't we?
Yeah, he has been a remarkable right wing back.
Yeah.
You know,
well, Manchester United can't find
a right wing back right now. He has been somebody that's created goals, scored goals, incredible engine to get up and down the field. There's a ton of players that could be in here, but I guess he's front and centre of my mind, just watching him play his energy. Yeah. So Daniel Munoz for me.
My underappreciated player of the year, Brian Mbeumo. For Brentford Football Club, he's got 20 Premier League goals. Yeah, a little bit the last few weeks, but again, one of them, Robbie, was under the radar. There was Ivan Toney, there was all these, there was Johan Wieser, there was lots of other people. All of a sudden, Brian Mbeumo, I think, has been unappreciated. 20 Premier League goals for that
Chris
team.
Wood will be close to that.
Yeah,
he's got 20 goals.
Exactly.
As a few. Johan Wieser, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's 19.
Because people talk, it's 19 goals. Underappreciated managers. You go first on that one.
I'm going to go Nuno, my guy, with what's gone on this year, the turnaround of that football club and the change of style and winning in a different way where teams can have 70% of possession, but he can still win a game. I think he's given a blueprint for other teams in this league to play the big 6 teams.
Yeah, good shout. I'm going to go somebody, maybe you don't expect this one, but expectations were very high. Not very popular appointment, struggled kind of mid-season, the fans were on his back. Enzo Maresca at Chelsea, Rob.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a different project. He's had to bed in all these new players. We haven't seen a club before spend so much money on young talent, hoping for something special in the future. Yeah. He's managed to squeeze them up. They're 4th, Rob.
Yeah.
Finished 4th in the Premier League.
Champions League football,
mate. They're going to learn, they're going to grow in that competition.
They could win a European Cup as well, by the way. They got Conference League next week, haven't they?
Yeah. I just hope that Chelsea fans now are like, okay, you know, let's give this guy a little bit of time, the project a little bit of time, because his first season, 4th, was not bad.
Listen, my friend, I can feel and smell a beer somewhere.
Oh,
it is that time of the season. It's been absolutely marvellous day, marvellous season. Congratulations to Liverpool and their special trophy lift today. 20 Premier League titles, and Jurgen Arne Slot even's going to want to make it 21. Just like to say thank you,
all our listeners,
and viewers, to keep supporting us everywhere we go, whether we're in the UK or in the US. Everybody talking about how they enjoy and listen to the two podcasts. But for now, I'm Earle, he's Mustoe, together with the two Robbies. Thanks for watching and listening. Be safe, stay healthy. It's a good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.